Hi guys. So this whole 10 weeks it's been about empowerment and moving forward, and we've talked about a lot of different things. We've talked about our soul wounds, we've talked about what holds us back, fear versus love, making decisions, and it all started, looking at ourselves and then, moving forward from there. Have you taken the step of forgiveness? Now, I know we talked about it in the early weeks, but forgiveness has to happen now at this point in order to go forward anymore. The different things that need to happen at this point in order to not only be empowered but to stay empowered is forgiveness of other people, forgiveness of ourselves, letting go of the decisions that we've made in our lives that maybe brought us to where we are that we're not real happy with. Forgiveness of others, the people that have hurt us. If we can't forgive other people, we're not going to be able to move forward. Not in empowerment anyway. We're gonna get caught up in something. We're gonna get caught up maybe in bitterness, or we're gonna repeat the same patterns over and over again. Some people get caught up in bitterness. Some people get caught up in self pity. Acceptance of the way things are. Now, just because you're in acceptance of the way things are does not mean that you're okay with the way things are. Let me just clarify a little bit. I accept it. I accept it. Like, don't deny it, okay? It's here. Um, so many of us are living in denial, or, like we talked about before, stuffing things, avoiding things. Rather than facing them, we avoid them and we call it letting go. Well, in order to truly let go, you have to forgive. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive other people involved. That gives you a true sense of empowerment. So we go from healing soul wounds to forgiveness to acceptance to awareness. Be aware of your situation. Gossip is a big thing, and we're going to do some exercises on that, those of you that are doing the program with me. Gossip's never good. It's not good. It's not a good thing. It says in the Bible it's not a good thing. It destroys people. People who gossip are small-minded. They're talking about it. They have nothing better to talk about than other people. um, and it hurts people. If you've ever been the target or the subject of gossip, you know how much it can hurt people. I mean, sometimes it's on a smaller level. Sometimes it's blown way up. Which leads me to the next thing, judgment. People can say, I don't care what so and so thinks of me, or, but do you really? We all care to some degree what people think of us. Especially if you work in the public. We all care to some degree. I mean, you may not, some people take it to an extreme and they care so much about what others think, and they're always trying to keep up with the Joneses and that kind of thing. And I remember when my kids were little, real little. Back then, my husband used to call me the Ice Princess, and he was right. He was right. I look back on my marriage, and I wasn't a good wife. I'm not taking all the blame, but I wasn't. I wasn't a good wife. I have grown so much since then, but I remember, I didn't really want my children to, like, see me cry or see me weak or whatever. So I cared what my children thought. I still care what my children think of me. But there are certain things I just can't change. I mean, certain things happen. What's irritating is when they remember things differently, than we do. I'm sure that's happened to you if you have adult children. Anyhow, when my husband left for another woman and I absolutely lost my mind, it was not diagnosed, but I believe I had a mental breakdown. Maybe I didn't, but by definition, is you can't function, and I was not functioning for a time anyway. And all the doctors wanted to do was hand out prescriptions, which I didn't take. I knew I still had enough common sense to know that if I take these, I'm just prolonging the agony. I'm going to feel nothing, and then one day eventually I'm going to have to face this. So I just went through it. I think I was, if I would have committed a crime back in that period, I probably could have pled temporary insanity and got it. Honestly, I mean, I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. But my point is, my children saw me cry. And I remember learning from that my children saw me as a real person. It didn't take away from them believing that mommy could fix anything. They still did. They believe that. I think sometimes they still do. Maybe they're learning now that I can't, but it didn't take away from what they thought of me. I always thought it would take away. It would make them think less of me, and it didn't. And now I'm of a different belief system. I'm kind of glad. I mean, I wish they didn't have to see me like literally fall apart, but they saw me as real, and I am glad that they got to experience that. I'm glad that I opened my mind up a little bit more, so that they could see, mom's a real person. I think sometimes we do that. We don't want our kids to see what we see as a weakness and what they see as authenticity, right? Not just our kids, maybe our coworkers, maybe our spouses, maybe good friends, whatever. We're all real people, right? So that's what we're going to be working on in these next 2 weeks. We've already covered authenticity. So it's kind of a review a little bit, but we're really going to focus on forgiveness, on letting go, on moving forward. What matters what people think, what doesn't matter what people think. How do you find that balance? Because yes, of course we care to some degree what people think, but we should not be basing our decisions on what, somebody else might think of us, It's nice to keep your integrity and all of that, absolutely. Keep a good reputation and all that stuff, but we're real people, and real people make mistakes, and real people have hardships, and real people, go through trauma and hardships, and they celebrate, and they have joy, and they have sadness and grief, and, so if you had to look at just maybe the last few days of your life, is there something that maybe you've noticed that you did that you'd say, oh no, I should have done this differently, or is there someone you need to forgive, including yourself? Just something to think about as we move on. I'll be sending out exercises to those of you who are doing this. We're coming to the end of the 10 weeks, and I want you guys to feel empowered to do whatever it is that's next along your journey, and be okay with it. So, and if you're not part of the group, if you're just listening to the video, still, check it out. What's going on? Like, do you do a nightly inventory? Do you kind of check in with yourself and see if you're doing the best you can be? Are you? And if not, why not? Like, why not? What's wrong? All right. There's Oliver. Say hello, Oliver. The other one was my boo. This is my Ollie. Say hi, Ollie. Say hi, Ollie. Yes, I'm the cat lady. And here's my doggie. I don't know if you can see her, but that's one of my dogs. I have 2 dogs and 4 cats. All right, guys. I hope you have a good day, and I will be talking to you soon.